Herbert Kilpin was born in Nottingham in 1870. He worked in the lace industry. That led him to travel to Turin, Italy. In 1891, he went to work for Edoardo Bosio, an Italian-Swiss textile merchant who founded a football club in Turin. So Kipling started playing for them. That meant he was the first recorded English football player of a major club outside his own country. But after that, Kipling moved to Milan. And in a long drinking session with a bunch of mates, he decided to start a football club there. You may have heard of them, AC Milan. This is the fun part though. This was not just a football club. Because remember, Kipling was from Nottingham, and they basically are known for what? 4 things? Lace, football, Robin Hood, and cricket. So when AC Milan was started, it was actually called Milan Football and Cricket Club. But the cricket really didn't take off. However, this was not even the first cricket club in Italy. The first recorded match was played in Naples, organised by the British Admiral Horatio Nelson, again, you might have heard of him, in 1793. And the sport was brought to the Italian streets by foreign sailors and merchants in the 1800s. Rome had a cricket club founded in 1820. The sport did fine in Italy until the First World War and then the Second World War. Then, as it did in other places, it kind of faded away. Until now. South Africa did not choke. In 1906, South Africa needed 284 to win. They'd only passed 100 in half their test innings at that point. At 105 for 6, it seemed impossible. They fought back but lost another flurry, leaving 45 to win with 1 wicket in hand. At the crease was Dave Norse, who was a capable batter, and he was joined by Percy Sherwell, the only debutant captain keeper and number 11 in Test cricket history. And these two were doing it. A huge crowd in South Africa cheered on every single run. With 8 left, Sherwell edged between slips for 4. Straight after, Norse ran a 3. England bowled 3 dots. All they needed was 1 wicket to tie. Instead, a leg side full toss, boundary, game over. This was Test cricket's first 1-wicket win, and their last partnership was a record for almost 100 years. But it was also something else. This was the first Test match that South Africa had ever won. Buy my book on Amazon, Overthrowing Cricket's Empire. Italy is one of 5 teams that will play the Europe Regional Final Tournament later this year for a chance to feature in the 2026 T20 World Cup. They're ranked just outside the top 30 at the moment, but they dominated the Europe sub-regional qualifier, going unbeaten to make it to the final stage of the World Cup qualifying process. Investment has trickled down, there's not a lot of money there, but they've started recruiting professional players from the Test nations to represent Italy and upgrade their playing facilities at every stage they can. It is the most exciting time for cricket in Italy, but not everywhere. Monfalcone is the northernmost port on the Mediterranean. The makeup of that town's population is different from the rest of Italy in that 1/3 is made up of immigrants, one of the greatest concentrations of foreign-born residents in the entire country. And the reason for this is that it has Europe's largest and the world's 4th largest shipyard. Fincantieri is a state-controlled organization who have shown a preference to importing labor to build their ships over the last couple of decades. This has meant that there has been a steady inflow of migrant workers coming in, and a large number of them are Bangladeshis, especially since the mid-90s. Their numbers have just kept growing and have been further boosted by the family reunification policy in Italy, which allows foreign nationals to bring eligible family members, including spouses and dependents, into the country as well. This also means that there is a growing population of Italian-born Bangladeshis. They make up 2/3 of the annual births in Monfalcone. And there is absolutely no doubt that this huge influx of migrant workers has changed the landscape of the town. A network of cycle paths have emerged, primarily used by the Bangladeshis who prefer cycling to get around. The town has traditional Italian places to eat and get clothes, but also Bangladeshi food and clothing like shalwars and hijabs. The town's population only recently passed the 30,000 mark, so it's not a particularly big place. But most places in Italy are not actually growing, as the birth rate there has been in steady decline over the last couple of decades. So more people are in town, more ships are being built, everyone must be really happy, right? No, not the mayor. Anna Marie Cezint belongs to Italy's League Party, a right-wing populist party. She became mayor of Monfalcone in 2016 and then was re-elected in 2022. And a lot of her success has come from writing an anti-immigrant sentiment. One of her first acts in office was to remove the benches in the town square simply because they had become too much of a gathering place for the foreign nationals. I mean, you just can't have people sitting around now, can you? the mayor has made no secret of her disdain for the Bangladeshis living and working in Monfalcone, declaring their way of life incompatible with the Italian way. In 2023, she penned an open letter to the Muslim community, effectively banning the wearing of bikinis. Of all the bits of clothing that you would want to ban, why would you start there? Sisant has also pushed for bans on Arabic lessons, observing of the holy month of Ramadan, and attempted to limit the number of foreign children in schools because they keep having so many babies. And as you would expect, there is a rising sense of tension in the town as a result. It all came to a head when the mayor banned collective prayer at the 2 Islamic centers back in 2023. In Sophia Petit's piece on the BBC, the mayor is said to have justified her actions, citing urban planning regulations. People from the town started sending me shocking photos and videos which showed a huge number of people praying in the 2 Islamic centers, as many as 1,900 in just one building. There are so many bikes left on the pavement and loud prayers 5 times a day, even at night, the mayor says. And weirdly enough, the Islamic centers are not designated as places of worship, and Islam is not one of the 13 religions that have protected status under Italian law. However, Sisant's ban on prayers became a watershed moment for the Muslims of Monfalcone. In December 2023, this led to large-scale protests against the ban and Sisant's anti-Islam stance. Over 8,000 people, remember there's only 30,000 people in the town, took to the streets, and the Muslim community looked for other legal ways to do away with the ban. In early 2024, a regional court ruled in favor of the 2 Islamic centers and annulled the decision to ban collective prayer. And of course, none of this Islamophobia is new, right? And it isn't something you only get in Italy or Monfalcone. But here is why we are talking about it. This mad mayor took it a step further. She decided to ban the Bangladeshi second religion as well, cricket. This mayor banned the sport from being played within the borders of the town. Anyone caught playing cricket could be fined up to €100. Her reasons? There was no space and cricket balls were dangerous. It's actually incredible that the rest of us have managed to survive in these cricket-involved hellholes we all live in. It was clearly another way to make the people who are actually building the success of Monfalcone feel like they are not welcome. She claims she has been falsely accused of racism to delegitimize her political action in defense of the community. And she's determined to keep fighting what she calls the Islamization of Europe. She told the BBC they've given nothing to this city, to our community, zero. They are free to go and play cricket anywhere else outside of Monfalcone. But of course, others beg to differ. Left-wing councillor in the region, Enrique O'Bullion, told The Guardian that without the Bangladeshi community, Monfalcone would likely be a ghost town. They have literally built the city bigger than it's ever been before. And this isn't something I'm just making up, by the way. Italy has one of the lowest birth rates in Europe and is also facing labor shortages, which is why Italy's Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, has increased the number of permits for non-European workers despite her party's anti-immigration tendencies. They do not have enough people to fill the positions that they need. If Monfalcone wants to remain the home of the world's 4th largest shipyard, they are going to need migrant workers, cricket playing or not. Once the BBC and The Guardian published a story on the cricket ban, Fabio Marabini, who is the president of the Italian Cricket Federation, was inundated with calls and messages from colleagues and other sports fans from all over Europe in addressing Sisant's superficial concerns about playing cricket in Monfalcone, the lack of space, danger posed by the cricket ball. Marabini argues that all three can be successfully addressed if only there was enough political will to actually do it. We have managed to play cricket safely in many other places, he might have added. In fact, he expressed to the Italian publication Il Piccolo that the Federation is willing to act as a guarantor if a suitable ground can be found for cricket to be played in Monfalcone. And while all of this is happening, the Italian cricket team is a multicultural one. Like many associate teams, they come from all over the world. Their side features players born in Italy, South Africa, Australia, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Former Australian Test opener Joe Burns is the captain of the men's team. Former England death bowler Jade Turnback played his last professional game for Italy. And there are other domestic cricketers you might have heard of, like Ben Minetti and Gareth Berg, also playing for Italy. And because of all that, you will not be shocked that this team is doing really well. How about this for fun? In the last 3 years of T20 internationals, they have the same win-loss ratio as India. Slightly different opponents, of course. But if they keep playing and developing the way they are, it is possible that Italy will qualify for the World Cup. What a moment that would be. And the truth is that the mayor of Monfalcone wants to divide, and she is using cricket to do that. But the thing with sport is, at its heart, it does what it has always done. It has brought people together. Herbert Kilpin knew that 125 years ago, when he was an immigrant who just wanted to play footy and cricket with his mates. The same as the people who are trying to build Italy's ships. They come for the work, and they just want to play sport with their friends. It may not lead to the next AC Milan or a World Cup win, but that's not what this is about, right? Sport is just a part of the joy of living. It is something to be shared, not banned. If an Englishman could give Italy AC Milan, who knows what the Bangladeshis of Monfalcone can bring? Let them play. Love sports and want to write or podcast on it? Look no further than Fans with Laptops. It's a specialized course tailored for aspiring sports enthusiasts like you. Uncover the secrets of the press box, learn how to create compelling stories from scratch, and discover the best methods to share your content online.